Rajkumar Hirani, imagine asking me, आप बताओ आपको स्क्रिप्ट कैसी लगी?
Wow.
And I'm like, sir, आप पेड़ भी बनाते ना मुझे इसमें पीछे तो मैंने करना था. So I was not sure how much they will embrace me in the setup, but I was sure that movie people will like.
Yeah.
This was a dream or a benchmark of sorts that I never thought I'll be able to achieve. It was a learning not just in front of the camera. It is a learning beyond the camera. Like it or no, accept it or no, there is kind of a a glass ceiling for a lot of people who don't have access to these kind of circles.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me 10 years back, you think you will be sitting here doing a Rajkumar Hirani Shahrukh Khan film, I would have said hell no. I can do one odd film where there's something that is probably not my ideal kind of a film, but I can't keep doing the kind of films just to achieve box office numbers where I'm doing something that I'm not 100% enjoying. So I want to give that opportunity to a lot of other actors who are talented, but they probably are not the ones who people think are stars, are marketable. So just filling that gap.
Yeah.
I know that they will remember me beyond the film because of the subjects I have chosen.
Hi, this is Sheetal. Welcome to Pinkvilla. I'm in conversation with one of the finest actors from our industry who's currently soaring high on the success of Dunki. So let's welcome the one and only Taapsee Pannu. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Firstly, a big congratulations. I mean, what a great end to the year, right?
Yes. it is actually my start and the end.
Okay.
Because I had only one release this year. As an actor at least. As a producer I had Dhak Dhak. But then I had this only film this year. Yeah. So, when you say save the best for the last.
Yeah, that's so true. But did you expect this kind of a response from the audience?
I think I'll be wrong or I'll be lying if I say no. Because when you're doing a Rajkumar Hirani film and when you are paired opposite probably the biggest star we have today or since quite some time now and you're doing a love story with him, I would have been sad if it wouldn't have been this because I kind of was expecting ke by default लोगों को पसंद आएगी. I was not sure how much they will embrace me in the setup, but I was sure that movie people will like.
Yeah, but I think people have loved you equally as much as they've loved Shah Rukh Khan and Vicky Kaushal and everybody else. Right?
Yes, that's true.
But how is it working with Shah Rukh Khan?
Well, I think this, I really wish I can just record this answer and keep playing because not just you or the journalists, my entire family, extended family, my friends, whenever I meet them, this is the only thing they want to know. So, and it's only fair because had I been in their position and someone in my family or friend circle would have done something like this, I probably would have asked the same question.
Thing, yeah.
Well, this was a dream or a benchmark of sorts that I never thought I'll be able to achieve because I really did not keep it there in my list because I was like, this is too good to be true. Let's just not even keep it there because if I don't achieve it, I'll keep feeling bad about it.
Yeah.
So let's just not keep it there.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Now, because I've worked with him over 2 years of shooting this film and I was lucky enough to be there with him almost on every single day we have shot together. There's hardly any stuff that we have without each other. It was a learning not just in front of the camera. It is a learning beyond the camera because of the stories that he tells you about his experiences for last 35 years that he's had in the industry to however these tricks of actors in front of the camera that I will not share with anyone. So all these things, I think they have changed me as a human being, as a professional and as an actor, which I'm going to keep with me in the future. And I hope I have made the most of each and every day I have been with him on the set because I was very well aware that this might be the first and might be the last time. You never know, right?
Don't say that, please.
Yeah, let's not say that. But I was very mindful, might be. So let's just make most of it every single day because you never know, kal ho na ho.
Oh my God, you won me over. How was your first interaction with him? Was it on the sets of Dunki or was it when you were reading the script? How was that?
I think it was, my first interaction with him happened during Badla because Red Chillies was producing that film. And very brief, like a producer-actor interaction during promotions and brief meetings, and I met him at his birthday at Mannat, and then post that it was again at Mannat when I was finalized for Dunki, and we met to discuss the scenes and practice and rehearse and all of that. So at that time, so yeah, I mean, it was very surreal to see, okay, now initially as an actor in a film that he was producing, and now being an actor in his film opposite him, was I myself looked at it as like, okay, now you've really achieved certain kind of milestone, because just to be there in a film as his in there as a love story where you're playing his love interest, and it's such an amazing role to play in a film where he is headlining it. It's just in my head was a big milestone in my life, not just as a career. So yeah, it was a moment I wanted to never end.
Did you do like a happy dance?
No, I didn't let it, honestly, I didn't let it sink in for the longest time, because I was always scared that if I celebrated too much, I might lose it.
नजर लग
जाएगी, या फिर कोई भी चीज को ज्यादा खुश मत हो, क्या पता निकाल दे तुम्हें, क्या पता तुम्हारे सीन्स ही कट हो जाएं, like you always, because it's so precious, you don't want to do too much to nazar na lage usko, so I just was deliberately keeping it away from sinking it in also a lot of times.
It's so nice to see that you've done such an amazing role in Dunki. And how was it working with Rajkumar sir? Was it like a dream?
See, again, these are the kind of names that you never think, coming from the background I come from, doing the kind of films I am doing, you never believe that you'll ever get an opportunity to do this kind of a film, because like it or no, accept it or no, there is kind of a a glass ceiling for a lot of people who don't have access to these kind of circles. So it becomes difficult to penetrate. And I always say there are roles that there are probably 2 or 3 actors can do. It's not like this role nobody else could have done. One, according to me, this person will do it better, this person will not do it as good as this one, but it will be okay. So likewise, I feel every character has the multiple actors who probably can do it well, but you might think this is the best one to do it. And I'm so glad that Raju sir stuck to his guns, his ground, that he wanted me for this role. I remember, had reached out to me when he saw Man Marziyan. That was one of the most beautiful moments when I got a message from Raju sir that he loved Man Marziyan and he loved what I did in the film. He called me, Kanika, Vicky to meet him. Vicky was working with him during Sanju at that time, or had worked with him at that time, I think. So we all went to meet him, and he was so sweet to ask, okay, tell me what was your process, because I just love what you people did. And I honestly have never had this kind of an interaction with any industry stalwart before that. Even though I've probably been there in the industry now for 10 years, at that time probably for 6-7 years, nobody had ever called me and said, okay, we really loved your work and tell me how did you do it. So it was a very surreal feeling, and at that time, honestly, I was not expecting that he's going to cast me in his film. I was just finding it as a token of love and appreciation and acknowledgement that he did at that time. Least did I know that 2 years after that, I'll get a call from him again, and where he'll say कि अच्छा अब तो आपने rumors पढ़ी ली होंगे, अब तो मीडिया ने आपको बता ही दिया कि आप पिक्चर में हो, तो मैं सोचा मैं भी कॉल करके बोल ही दूँ.
So sweet.
I refrained from believing that it is actually happening because the role was so good. So and he's asking me, Rajkumar Hirani, imagine asking me, आप बताओ आपको स्क्रिप्ट कैसी लगी?
Wow.
And I'm like, sir, आप पेड़ भी बनाते ना मुझे इसमें पीछे, तो मैंने करना था. So आपसे ये कुछ ज़्यादा ही दे दिया आपने मुझे उम्मीद से. And I remember till the film didn't go on floor, you won't believe, everyone around me kept asking me, are you sure you are in the film?
Oh God.
My family, my friends were like, are you sure? Have you signed the film? I said, yeah, I've signed. Like, yeah, but अभी signing के बाद भी हो सकता है निकाल दें. So, you never know what happens. So, everyone kept checking with me even after I completed the first schedule. They were like, अब लग रहा है चलो मे बी अब काफी फुटेज शूट कर ली होगी तेरे साथ, तो अभी बहुत महंगा हो जाएगा रिप्लेस करना, so मे बी अब नहीं करेंगे.
Oh my God.
So I'm telling you, for the longest time everyone kept saying this, are you sure you're there? Everyone around me in the industry also, because I felt it was very difficult for everyone in the industry to wrap their head around how did she get into this film. It's such a weird, awkward combination of sorts for someone like me to be in a film like this. So it was quite difficult for even my friends and family to digest. After I remember I saw the first edit, and I usually don't see edits. Raju sir, being the editor, he was so happy with the film, he kept insisting that I should come and see the edit. When I finally saw the first cut, I came back home and they asked me, so are you in the film?
Oh my god.
You sure you are there in the film? They did. I said, strangely, they have not cut anything of mine. They have kept all my scenes.
Did you cry?
No, I haven't. And I say, I'm telling you that sinking and feeling, I don't know, when will it come?
Yeah.
I remember I kept holding it till the release also. That okay, let me just wait and see, not celebrate it.
Oh my God.
Now I think with slowly the results and the messages I keep getting after the film's release, I every day I celebrate a little. But I think I kept holding on to my horses, I think, till the release.
Yeah, it's so precious, you have to do that.
Yeah, it
right?
is, it is.
Any BTS story that you have from the sets of Dunki that you can share with us? Any memorable one?
The one story that one big memory of Dunki is that we shot the film through summers, like excruciating summers. There were heat waves when we were shooting in Bombay in the month of April, May and the first half of June before rain set in. Extremely hot, but we had to show winters in the film.
Okay.
So we were all wearing sweaters.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and then when we went to London, again we had to show winters, but it was July month in London where there was heat wave in London. The runway and all melted.
Oh my god.
So it was that hot, but we were showing winters. So it was Budapest we went, whichever country we went, Saudi we went, in Jeddah, it was 48 degrees. So, and every time we had to show winters.
Yeah, opposite.
Yeah, so it was, I think, I kept telling Raju sir कि इस picture की कुंडली में heat wave बैठ गई है. Because no matter where we go, there's heat wave is coming with us.
Yeah.
So it was quite, heat wave was the running joke in our crew. And I remember Shah Rukh sir saying कि ये मेरा character ना सिपाही का है. So मैं सियाचिन वगैरह में place होता था. He's made a backstory in his head. कि मैं सियाचिन वगैरह में होता था तो मुझे ना ज़्यादा ठंड लगती है ना ज़्यादा गर्मी, so इसलिए मैं स्वेटर नहीं पहनूंगा.
Oh God.
So
I'm normal.
So because I'm the soldier, I've gone through a lot physically. So ये normal सर्दियाँ पंजाब वगैरह की मुझे affect नहीं करती हैं. So he conveniently didn't wear the sweater. All of us were wearing the sweater around him. So whenever after the first schedule I saw him not wearing a sweater and we were all wearing sweater, I was like, yeah sir, I understood. आप तो सियाचिन से आए हो ना. आप तो सियाचिन से. So आपके लिए. So yeah, that was a good running joke with him throughout the shoot of the film.
How sweet. Taapsee, going back in time, right? You started doing South movies and then Bollywood, and it's been a long journey, right? More than 10 plus years now, yes? So if you had to describe your journey, how would it be?
I think describe will be, it's like a sine curve, right? Yeah. Up and down, up and down. But it's been a journey that I could never chart beforehand. Right. In the sense, like I could never, if you would have asked me 10 years back, you think you will be sitting here doing a Rajkumar Hirani Shahrukh Khan film, I would have said hell no. So if you would have asked me 10 years back, how do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't have been able to tell you that this position, I'll be in this position. So it has been quite a unpredictable journey. Yeah. I have been that dark horse in my life in terms of be it professionally or personally. Even in my family, I think they still get surprised by seeing what all I have been through or have achieved or whatever, wherever I am right now, because I don't think any one of us back home ever thought that anyone from our family can be here. Yeah. Or even when I started in the industry, I don't think anybody had imagined that eventually I'll end up being in a film like this, or have this kind of a journey, right. Be a producer after 10 years in the film. I think the fact that nobody expected kind of worked for me.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, I've been that dark horse.
Back then and back now also, right? I want to ask you, how important are box office numbers to you?
See, I think I am that theatre going audience myself. I have been that since the time I started watching films. Even though I started watching films quite late in my life, I started watching films mostly when I entered college. Before that, didn't really see many movies. But then there onwards, I've been a fan of watching films in theaters till now. I'm not my focus attention span is very low on smaller screens. So I am that fan. So I would want my films to be there. So when I want my films to be there, that's always aspirational to have box office figures. Yeah, how much you'll be able to achieve? Do you want to compromise on everything else in your ideology to achieve those numbers? Maybe not. Just because I would want box office numbers doesn't mean that I will totally disconnect from the films that give me happiness to do. Just I can do one odd film where there's something that is probably not my ideal kind of a film, but I can't keep doing the kind of films just to achieve box office numbers where I'm doing something that I'm not 100% enjoying. So I'm not sure if I'll do that bigger compromise. But yes, it's very aspirational to have good box office numbers.
You know, every time I hear your name, there's only one thing that comes to my mind is that there's nothing that you can't do, right? You've done everything, and now that you're also a producer, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
First question that I had in my mind is, your production house is called as Outsider, right? What is the significance?
Because I'm a proud outsider myself.
Wow.
I never see it as a taboo. I never see it as a step down. I never see it as someone who's any inferior in any way. I've really, when I formed my production house, I always used to see this term outsiders being used in a very, in an inferior way.
Yeah, also a little bit negative sometimes.
Yeah. And I did not understand why, because see, this is your, in a way, a part of your identity. And I'm extremely proud of that. The reason why I have a set of audience who relates to me, who cheers for me, is because they relate to me and they feel like, yeah, she's also come from the similar background that, we all have been a part of while we growing up, and she's got a similar journey, she's got similar struggles. So that identification that I have gotten from my audience is courtesy, I have come from the outside. So I wear it as a badge of honor. And that's why I wanted to keep my production house's name as Outsiders, because both my partner and me, Pranjal and I, we both have come from the outside, and we are extremely happy and proud of from where we come from. So that's why we wanted to change this whole perception of the way this word is said. So hence the name.
Wow, so relatable.
Yeah.
And how do you maintain a balance between being a producer and an actor? Does it get tough sometimes?
It gets tough. I remember when I was co-producing Blur, which I acted in, I realized even though I don't have to stress so much because I have a partner who's hands-on producer on set, I still have this one subconscious side of my mind which is always thinking about the production aspect of the film. Because I'm not just a producer like who gets the back end deal or who just has that eventual share if profit in any kind.
Completely involved.
My production house is on ground production, like which will handle your day-to-day thing. So it becomes a little stressful psychologically, I feel. So I decided after that I will try and concentrate mostly on the films where I'm not acting. Only the films which I really feel I need to step in to control the day-to-day running of the film is when I'll make my films where I'm acting as Outsiders production. Otherwise, I'll mostly try to do films. A majority of the films will be the ones where I'm not acting. And I would want to give that platform to people. Like when I didn't get 10 years back when I started off, there was always this huge gap between talent and market value. Even though everybody believes that you're talented, people don't want to put that money on you because they feel you don't have that market value. So that was a big gap that it takes a very difficult and lot of time and effort for an actor to cross. And sometimes it's largely dependent upon your luck if you get that opportunity or no to change to travel from just being talented to being marketable. So I want to give that opportunity to a lot of other actors who are talented, but they probably are not the ones who people think are stars, are marketable. So just filling that gap.
Yeah. Talking about that, I think Dhak Dhak was such a brilliant movie. I absolutely loved it, and you can see the amount of love it's received from the audience, right? So is that the kind of genre you're looking at producing movies, or do you want to explore more?
I think I would want to stick to the genre that audience identifies me for. Because I don't want to be that producer who produces something just to make money and then does something else when I'm an actor. So it just, I have, even my life as an actor, I have never portrayed a personality that I'm not in front of the public. My image that about is as true as I am in real life. So it's not like I'm a different person for media and public and I'm a different person back home. So I want to keep that in sync with the films I produce. So all the films that I produce or the projects or of any kind that I'm associated with as a producer are going to be very much in sync with the kind of films I do. So you can almost see, you will understand why I produce a certain film or a project.
Looking forward to many more actually.
Yeah, please do.
I love many of your films, to name. But one movie that stuck with me has to be Haseen Dilruba. I don't know why,
thank you.
but I absolutely love it. Right?
Thank you so much.
So, can you tell the audience what can they expect in part 2 of this movie?
Oh well, the part 2 is done, as in I've shot for it. It's going to come out in 2024. That is one of those precious IPs of mine. Like, I feel like very rarely do actresses get to hold an IP in terms of franchise.
Franchise, yes.
I feel the only other actress in my head who I know holds a franchise on her name is Rani Mukherjee
For Mardani. Yes, absolutely.
And she's such a fabulous star actress. So to be someone who can also hold a franchise is such a huge, in my head again, a milestone that I believe I want to keep it close to me and want to keep pushing the boundary with that. The next one is ready, in the sense that it's short, it's getting edited now, and I have seen bits and portions of it, and it is definitely a step above the previous one. It's going to be snappier, sharper, more thrilling, more exciting, and the scale wise also the stakes look higher for the second one. We are all, as actors, me and Vikrant, are more confident in the part 2 because we know now our characters are received well by the audience, so we are ready to push the envelope, and hopefully after this we will continue with the franchise ahead.
We can't wait, honestly.
So nor can I, honestly.
A lot of people expect your collaboration with Neeraj Pandey again because of Baby and Naam Shabana. So is there something?
I have been actually chasing him. I keep meeting him every now and then, asking him कि sir अभी हम कुछ और करते हैं ना. I have been actually
लोग wait कर रहे हैं.
लोग क्या, मैं ही wait कर रही हूँ. मैं उनको यही बोलूँगा sir please मुझे कुछ काम दे दो. So he laughs it off and all, but he doesn't believe how serious I am about it, because he was one of those very few people who believed in me at the very beginning stage of my career. Like, who gives someone a full-fledged film with title role with just a 7-minute role in Baby? Like, that was I think too good to be true again kind of a moment that happened with someone like Neeraj Pandey, who believed that this girl who had a 7-minute role deserves to have a film for herself. So I am very shameless in approaching directors like him when I have to tell them please मुझे काम दे दो. So I do that with a lot of other directors also, but with him I've been consistently after him. I'm just hoping he remembers me. I keep showing my face every now and then so he doesn't forget me.
So sweet. But I really hope the collaboration is going to happen.
I'm also hoping so. Yeah, please tell him if you meet him.
I mean, I hope he's watching this interview. I want to ask you that your choices of films are so different but so fantastic, right? So what is the process and how do you go through it? Is it the script that makes you want to say yes, or is it the director, or what is it?
Actually, it's a combination, but first let me tell you honestly, it's not because these are purely basis my choice. In the beginning, I didn't have an option. People did not give me your regular mainstream films. So I had to make my own mainstream. There was no other option I was left with. All these big hero films, the big producer films were not really coming my way. So I decided to make my own path. So whatever I was getting in my hand, I used to choose from that which I felt will leave an impact on an audience, because I believe that I am an audience myself. When I watch a film, I know what left an impact, which story left an impact, which didn't. So I started picking up those stories which I know will be in audiences' hearts and minds for longer than after the film gets over. So I think that gave me a space in their hearts and minds. So I know that they will remember me beyond the film because of the subjects I have chosen. So this is the path I was left with. So hence I started taking that, and that became my identity, which I'm extremely proud of today. At least they have given me an opportunity to create one path for myself.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, so that it's a lot coincidental, by chance, a lot because I decided to take the control of my career in my own hand. To walk a path that might not be an ideal or an obvious choice. for people to. It's not a safest path to choose, but it's mine. Good or bad, successful or failed, it's mine. Nobody can take that credit away from me. That's what makes me happy.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Lastly, I want to ask you, what is in store for Taapsee next year?
So, well, I am, like you said, I'm also waiting for Haseen Dilruba next year, and I have a couple of projects that are in different stages of getting completed as an actor, and even as a producer. I have a couple of projects that I'm putting together now. We are still like beginning like a new production house, so we are concentrating mostly on one project at a time, so make sure we deliver a good product and then step on to the next one. So now after Dhak Dhak, we are in the process of packaging the next thing, and then slowly you'll get to know about it. But as an actor also, I feel like now, after Dunki and after having Haseen, and I really want to push the stakes of my films a little more. I just hope I get opportunities to balance the kind of different content that I feel like doing and your conventional big mainstream films, because again, as I said, I'm not the ideal name that comes in minds of people when they think of your big mainstream films, because they believe I'll never do those. They keep coming to me and telling me that अरे हाँ वो तो हीरो वाली फिल्म है तो आप नहीं करोगे ना. Arey, this is not the case. I also feel like I want to have, because I also can get exhausted doing films that are shouldered on my character most of the time. So I also want to take a little backseat sometimes to relax a little bit. Otherwise, it can get a little stressful. So I just hope I get opportunity to do those kinds of films as well.
I think we'll all manifest it together.
Please do that.
Thank you so much. Again, congratulations.
Thank
it was
you.
lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.